Turmeric has been used in Oriental medicine for many millennia, but in our culture, we learned about turmeric relatively recently. It was only in the 70s that studies were conducted that confirmed the significant anti-inflammatory effects of turmeric, and today it is one of the best antioxidant remedies. What will happen if you eat turmeric regularly? In fact, the changes will be amazing. Turmeric really does work wonders. Watch this video till the end, and in this video, we will go through what will happen to your body. It's going to be very interesting and useful. So here we go. So what is the benefit of turmeric? Why do we get sick and why do we age? The main mechanism of aging and the development of chronic diseases is microinflammation, and they occur in all tissues of our body. With age, inflammatory processes accumulate, and accordingly, chronic diseases also accumulate. And as a result, we age and acquire age-related diseases. It is chronic inflammation that causes the development of cardiovascular diseases, as well as the development of oncologies. So turmeric contains a substance such as curcumin, or as biologists also say, curcuminoids. Curcuminoids are a very powerful oxidant that has a strong anti-inflammatory effect. While the effect of curcumin is so strong that its anti-inflammatory effect can be compared with the effect of some medicine. The next thing that is very important to say is that curcumin kills cancer cells. A large number of studies have shown that it successfully inhibits their development and growth. According to scientists from the Cancer Research Center at the University of Texas, curcumin is able to penetrate into a cancer cell and change its DNA, which subsequently leads to its death. Moreover, it does not have such an effect on healthy cells, and as a result does not cause side effects. When a cancer cell comes into contact with curcumin, it can be said that it begins to digest itself. There is also interesting research and statistics. That's what it is. In India, where turmeric is added everywhere, almost to every dish, some cancers are much less common. For example, prostate cancer is 50 times less common. Breast cancer is 5 times less common. Kidney cancer is 10 times less common. Lung cancer is 8 times less common. It has been estimated that the average Indian consumes about 1 to 3 grams of turmeric every day, and this is just the norm for them. This is due to the specifics of the local cuisine. Of course, it cannot be argued that if a person already has cancer, then simply adding 3 grams of turmeric and he will recover. That would be too radical a statement, but it can be argued that consuming turmeric throughout life in normal dosages can serve as a means of preventing oncology. Friends, before we continue, we recommend subscribing to our channel, where you will find even more useful videos about health, youth, and longevity. And also turn on the bell so as not to miss new useful releases. So, let's move on. Regular consumption of turmeric protects your brain. Cognitive impairment, degenerative phenomena of the central nervous system, Alzheimer's disease, dementia, all these diseases are very often associated with a decrease in the level of activity of the neurotrophic factor. This is one of the hormones that has a very big effect on our brain. So studies have shown that turmeric has a very good effect on the level of neurotrophic factor. It is also worth mentioning here that if a person has already had dementia, then of course we will not cure it with turmeric, but as a preventive measure, it is a very effective remedy. The next point is arthritis. Arthritis is a chronic inflammation of our joints. This happens in a very large number of people, and even more so with age. Very often, the cause of arthritis is a certain immune malfunction. Our immune cells can mistakenly attack their own cells, which are located in the knees, in the hands, in the wrists, in the hip joint, and so on. In the case of such an immune malfunction, it is very difficult to treat arthritis, but it is possible to reduce inflammation and greatly alleviate the symptoms. A study was conducted where people suffering from arthritis were given only half a gram of curcumin per day, and the pain reduction was significant. People were relieved. Moreover, in some cases, the relief was even more pronounced than when taking anti-inflammatory drugs. But there have been other studies where people have been given even smaller dosages, 200 milligrams of curcumin per day, and there have also been significant improvements. So if your joints hurt, then it's probably worth adding turmeric to your daily diet. The next point is the effect on the liver. Studies have also been conducted where it has been proven that turmeric can reduce the risk of developing certain liver diseases, such as fibrosis and cirrhosis of the liver. Turmeric also helps to reduce the accumulation of fat in the liver. It has also been noted that in chronic hepatitis, turmeric can reduce liver damage. Of course, it is worth noting that turmeric certainly will not cure hepatitis, but as a protective factor, it works flawlessly. How to take turmeric? The first thing to say is the dosage. The fact is that there is turmeric. This is the same additive in the form of a yellow powder. And there is curcumin, which is a separate substance that is contained in turmeric. So the curcumin content in turmeric is about 3%. That is, when I said that people were given 200 milligrams of curcumin or 500 milligrams of curcumin, I meant curcumin. It's worth considering. And in terms of turmeric, to achieve the same dosage, you need to multiply by about 30. In most studies that talked about the benefits of turmeric, volunteers received from 200 milligrams of curcumin to 2 grams. Of course, 2 grams of curcumin is already quite a lot. However, there is a general recommendation to take no more than 3 milligrams of curcumin per kilogram of your body weight. In the history of research, no side effects from the use of curcumin have been identified. That is, turmeric is an absolutely safe supplement. Although there are certain precautions, doctors recommend that pregnant women do not consume more than 500 milligrams of curcumin per day. People suffering from diabetes are not recommended to consume a lot of turmeric, as it can greatly reduce blood sugar levels. And also, people who are deficient in iron are not recommended to consume large amounts of turmeric, since curcumin in large quantities impairs the absorption of this trace element. In all other cases, turmeric can be consumed calmly, without fear. By the way, friends, write in the comments, have you ever eaten turmeric, or maybe you've never even had such a seasoning at home? Share it in the comments. If this video was useful, then like it and share it with your friends. We also recommend watching our previous videos.